I recently found a 5-minute crypto trading strategy that can catch those sharp price dips right as the market is trending up, without getting chopped by false signals. This algorithmic trading strategy is called the BinHMod wide HOVO, and it combines classic indicators in a way you probably haven't seen before. The BinHMod Wide is a community-driven strategy that I found on GitHub, and if you know the creator, then please drop a comment below. Credit where credits are due. This strategy seems to be always watching for those moments when the market takes a sudden dip, but only jumps in when the conditions are just right. And instead of chasing every move, it waits for a combination of volatility, momentum and trend confirmation before taking action. Let's get into more details about the strategy. This one is also based on the 5-minute time frame and also uses the 1-hour time frame for confirmation. There are 3 main indicators that are used to determine the entry signal. The first one is the Bollinger Band that has an alternative setting than the default ones, and then there are 3 EMAs that are used to determine the trend. They are somewhat hidden in the entry trend protection, but if you look closely then you can see that they are there. And the last indicator is the EWO, or the Elliott Wave Oscillator, that is used to determine the momentum. The strategy has 3 layers of trend protection, and if any enabled protection condition is not met, then the strategy will not buy. Then there is this main entry condition, and after passing all the enabled protections, the main entry condition checks for a big move in the Bollinger Bands, a strong price delta, confirmation from the other indicators and a specific price pattern. And if all these conditions are met, then the strategy will actually buy. The exit is simple too. The strategy sells when the price closes above the Bollinger Band midline, multiplied by a small offset. And the volume must be positive. The strategy also has a hard stop loss at minus 30% and a minimal ROI setting to 1000%. By using this percentage, the ROI is effectively disabled. And the 30% stop loss is in my personal experience way too high. One stop loss hit can destroy a whole range of tiny trades. And this is why I would recommend to use a more reasonable stop loss, but more on that later. Because now that we understand the basics, let's dive into how the strategy actually performs in backtests. And these performance metrics tell it all. The strategy has a win percentage of 75% with a drawdown of max 3.36, which I find very admirable, and a profit factor of 3.05. The performance indicators like Sortino, Sharp and Kalmar also like the way the strategy handles its trades. The only negative thing here is that the profits are not super high in comparison to other strategies that have almost the same numbers. But then again, I always say not to stare too blindly to these backtest numbers, because they are always an indication of what a strategy can do, but the real results of such a strategy are always in real market circumstances. The equity curve shows a really nice upward trend. But you see that when it approaches the bull market high point, it tends to flatten. At least it's not dropping hard after that point like some other trading strategies do. Now you can also see clearly here, if you look at the performance decay over time plot, that at a certain point the rolling sharp is declining, indicating that the strategy weakens and does not perform that well after a certain point in time. The drawdown plot shows an optimistic view of the strategy's performance under these bearish circumstances, because while the momentum for gains is slowly disappearing, the strategy keeps a good hold on the attained gains, something to keep in mind. And in relation to the top 10 of best performing trading algos, all others can take example of the profit factor of this BinHMod strategy. It is the highest ever achieved. But in the grand scheme of things, this strategy is almost barely entering the top 25 of best performing algorithms, mainly because of the low hypothetical gains it achieved in the backtests. So, if you found this breakdown helpful, then please hit that like button and subscribe for more strategy deep dives. And if you want to have the full backtest results, the code, optimization parameters and the full report, then check out my Patreon link in the description. I also have written a book for those people that are just starting out in algorithmic trading. It's available on Amazon. This is the end of this video and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!